Sorry for starting late. We black.
No worries.
Is it true that black people are always late?
I don't think that's true.
Why you don't think that's true?
Because my significant other is black and she's always there before me.
What do you mean your significant other?
My girlfriend.
She black?
Yep.
You dating a black girl?
Yeah, Haitian.
Huh?
Haitian.
So she's the real deal.
Yeah, she's the real deal.
When times get tough, you need to get down. No need to look backward, put your feet on the ground. Stand up, stand up.
Welcome to The Fallen State. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Don't forget that The Fallen State is on Patreon. So click the Patreon link in the description to support our work. And in advance, gracias, mamma mia, and hola, thank you. So I have today a very interesting guest. I've never met him before today, and so I'm looking forward to an interesting conversation. I have with me Dylan Burns, and he is a political consultant, Twitch streamer, and YouTuber. Dylan, thanks for coming in.
Happy to be here, Jesse.
I really appreciate it. Is this your first time in California?
No, this is, I've been here a few times for like family get-togethers and such, and I was also here a few months back to visit friends and family.
Oh, okay. And so, since I don't know anything about you, I know a little about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know nothing. But you are a millennial.
Zoomer, actually.
You're a Zoomer.
Yeah, I'm 20.
That's below, wow.
Yeah.
You are a Zoomer. What is that like being a Zoomer? What does the world look like to you?
Well, I would say the world looks like to me, a lot of it's more technically oriented. Technology, I use technology probably more than other generations. I probably get the youth's humor a little bit more. I understand a lot of the weird kind of edgy comedy of a lot of young people. And I guess that makes me a little bit more angsty than other generations.
That's amazing. How do you see the millennials? How do you see them?
How do I see them?
What's your image of the millennials?
I would say, to me, they're already pretty old, but I guess already boomers in my view. I think they're spiritually boomers, but I think when it comes to, I don't know really how I see them, I guess, unfunny mostly.
The millennials?
Yeah, they're unfunny.
And they seem old to you?
Yeah.
How old is a millennial?
It's a broad range. They're 30s, 40s, right? They're in their range now.
30, 40,
They're
and
getting
that
up there.
seem old to you?
Yeah, I'm 20, right? I'm fresh out of high school. Still in college. I'm 20 years old. I can't even legally drink yet. So, yeah, anybody over 30 is old to me, yeah.
Oh, so you can't drink at 20 legally?
Nope, I can't.
I thought it was 18 or so.
Nope, they used to be that way during the Vietnam War because people would go over there and get shot at, but they couldn't drink, which I think silly, but I can't legally drink, no, and I choose not to drink.
And so are the millennials dumb or smart?
Are they dumb or smart? I would say pretty dumb.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
I never talked to a Zoomer, I don't think.
Yeah, I see what they watch, I see what type of comedy they like, the type of entertainment they like, so, they must be dumb, yeah.
That's amazing. So you think, do you think the Zoomers are smarter than the millennials?
Oh, most certainly.
Really?
Most certainly.
In what way?
I would say they're more technologically oriented. I would say they're funnier. I would say they're able to adjust to this new age we have better. And I don't know. I guess I'm just mostly angry at millennials for being so unfunny.
So unfunny.
Yeah, like Destiny and Vosh, for example. They're extremely unfunny. Yeah.
They're unfunny?
Yeah, they're unfunny.
But they're not comedians.
Yeah, they're not comedians. Well, they try to be comedians.
And
Yeah.
how are they unfunny?
You got like Destiny. He thinks Yi and like Pepe and all that stuff's funny with his Olympics, but I'm a big Pepe supporter myself. And Vosh, of course, with his Coconut Island stuff, is also incredibly unfunny.
Whatever.
Maybe it's because they're just left-leaning. Who knows?
Left-leaning.
Maybe.
What's important to you?
What's important to me?
Yeah.
Community and foreign policy. Those are my two most important things for me when it comes.
At 20, why is foreign policy so important to you?
When I was in high school, I started studying the conflict in Syria. I would use live map technology. I went to a high school where you could be online and on computers all day. They gave us, it was partially online, partially in person. And so when I would finish with my classes, I would study the Syrian conflict day by day by looking at the map changes and the conflict. And I was deeply interested in the struggle of particularly the SDF, the YPG, the YPJ in northeastern Syria, and the Kurdish population that were fighting ISIS. And I followed those battles day by day, and I got not only educationally interested, but deeply, somewhat emotionally tied to it. And I learned how, slowly through time, how issues halfway across the world can affect us at home. A good example of this for the world would be the American financial crisis caused a financial recession globally. We're more interconnected than ever before, and so I think we need the new generation to be aware of what's going on overseas.
Are there many Zoomers that are smart?
Are there many? I would
Do
say
you
I would
know
say
any
so.
other Zoomers that are smart?
Do I know any other Zoomers that are smart? Yeah, I know a few. I know a few that are smart. I know some that I go to college with that are extremely intelligent individuals, people who study mathematics, art, sciences. I was studying Islamic history at the University of Maryland, and there's a lot of young people taking that class, and they're very brilliant as they learn about the history of Islam in the Middle East.
And so, do you have common sense, or you just intellectually smart?
I would say that I don't like calling myself smart. It feels like I'm kind of brushing up my ego. I try to be modest about that, but I don't think I have a lot of common sense. I think I'm 20 years old, so while I'm studying and I'm doing my best to learn all I can intellectually, I still make a lot of young people make mistakes, for being young and just wanting to learn. And I constantly have to remind myself as I'm working and I'm getting elected to positions or working for Democratic candidates across the state that as much as I'm around so many older people, I'm still young and I need to learn these experiences with time.
Are you interested in becoming I know you say you work with Democratic
Yes.
politicians.
The state of
right?
Maryland, yeah.
In the state of Maryland. Are you are you able to say who you work with?
Some of them I cannot disclose. For when it comes to like political consulting jobs, like I can't. But I managed the campaign of Patrick Wohan, who was the first openly gay mayor of my city. We won with 73% of the vote in a three-way race. So I could say I'm very proud of that one. I've worked for State Senator Jill Carter as her foreign policy advisor. I was a foreign policy advisor for Michaela Wilkes, who's running again in the state of Maryland. I'm not advising her this time, though. I've worked for the 21st District delegation in the state of Maryland. I'm currently on the board for the largest LGBTQ+ advocacy group in the state of Maryland. I do a lot of stuff in my city. I've worked a bit.
What was the secret that caused you and that gay guy to win?
What was the secret? We used gay magic.
You used gay magic on the public?
Yeah, we used gay magic.
What was the magic?
We went to them and said, if you don't vote for us, you're homophobic, and they all voted for us.
Really?
No, not really. We mostly concentrated
It
on...
sounds so true.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what spells
Because
I have.
people are so afraid nowadays.
Yeah, I could be casting one on you right now. You would never know.
I doubt it.
But we mostly concentrated on local-oriented issues. I'm on the environmental board of my city, and we've been losing a lot of foliage and green space over time. And so he was very concentrated on environmental issues. He was concentrated on people's tax rates and rebuilding our city's, what is it called? It's where the city council meets. It's like the city hall, rebuilding that, building into space. Growing our economy. We've had a lot of new local businesses come in, and he's been particularly attentive to COVID issues as of late. And so I would say he's a pretty good mayor. I mean, he's won 3 terms now. So
Do you hope to be a politician one day?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you want to be a politician?
Yes.
And you a Democrat?
Yes, I am a Democrat.
You're a Democrat. And you said your community is important to you.
Very
right?
important to me.
What's your community?
The city of College Park in the state of Maryland, in Prince George's County, where I was born and raised.
So all that area is your community?
I would consider the community. I would also consider the DMV wildly to be my community. The DMV is DC, Maryland, and Virginia that's connected by the metro system. And my grandparents, I was raised by my grandparents, not my parents. And my grandfather worked in DC for the Bureau of Engraving and Printing as a machinist. He built the machines that printed the money. And I would regularly go up there for Take Your Child to Work Day, and I would go out there and hang out with my friends, get hot dogs from vendors and stuff. And so I would consider that area to be my broader community.
And so that whole area is your community?
Yeah, I feel very attached to it. My mother was lived in D.C. as well. She was a homeless resident in D.C.
She was a homeless resident?
Yes.
So you were raised by your grandfather and grandmother?
Yes.
And where was your parents? Your father and mother?
My father, it's complicated, but he had a history of trouble with the law and some other things. And my mother was an addict. While she was pregnant with me, she was using heroin. And so due to her addiction, she was not able to take care of me. And so my grandparents, after multiple attempts, she tried to take care of me, eventually decided that they should step in and adopt me, because if they didn't, I would be going to an adoption agency.
So you weren't close to your father either?
My father's still alive, and I try to be close with him, but there's just certain things we don't see eye to eye on, but I try my best to be close with him, because I'm much of what he has left.
And does he want to be close to you?
Yes, he very much desires to be close to me.
And you very much desire to be close to him?
Even if we don't see eye to eye on certain things, yeah.
And how do you know you desire to be close to him?
Because I think about the fact that he's getting up in age, that he has certain health issues, cancer being one of the ones that are most concerning to me, and I think about not being able to see him again and what that disease could do to him, and I'd rather him be here for as long as possible, because I want to see him, because a future where he's not here is frightening to me.
Are you an only child?
I have a half-brother.
Oh, okay. And so have you forgiven your father for not being there for you while growing up?
I don't know. I would like to.
Have you forgiven him?
I don't think I have yet.
And why not?
Because there's certain things where I don't know if he has been 100% honest with me in certain things he's told me.
And what does it have to do with you forgiving him?
I would like, if I am to forgive him for something, he has to be honest that that thing happened with me.
That's not the reason to forgive him. You forgive him because you don't have a right to judge him. All human beings are born in sin, and they can't help what they do. And so, but we don't have a right to resent them, to judge them for anything. And that's why you should forgive him, not because he will or will not admit anything, but just knowing you're wrong to resent him is what will change your life. As you forgive him for not being there, God will forgive you. You don't need anything from him. Have you ever thought about that?
I've thought about it. I'm still mulling it over.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
And being a Christian, what is it that you're molding?
I don't know exactly how the conversation would go, and
How about, hey, Dad, I'm sorry for resenting you for being a beta. I know now you can't help yourself. I'm sorry for resenting you.
yeah.
How about that?
I'll think about it.
Did you know God said that if we have aught, meaning anger at anyone, we should go and forgive them?
Yes, he did.
Mean to apologize for rejecting them?
Yeah, I do my best to work and do my best to live in righteousness, but I guess I'm not perfect, and this is one of those instances where I'm not being perfect.
Yeah. You have anger?
Do I have anger?
Do you have anger?
Like any amount of anger?
Do you have anger?
Anger generally?
Do you have anger?
Probably, yes.
Do you?
Yeah,
You do have anger?
I do have anger, yeah.
Well, your anger would disappear when you forgive your father.
I don't think it would,
Why not?
because I don't only have anger at my father, I have anger at a lot of other things too.
But once you forgive your mother and your father, all anger would disappear. God would forgive you. He would take away the spirit. And then you could be free.
1 second, I'm getting a call. There we go.
You getting a call?
Yeah, I turned it off.
What the? So is the phone off or on?
Well, now it's off. Just turned it off.
Oh, okay. Will you think about that?
I'll think about it.
Yeah. Because the purpose of Christianity is to love one another and to not hate anyone, including ourselves.
Yeah.
Are you at perfect peace?
Am I at perfect peace?
Yeah.
I would like to hope so, but I don't know.
And so you say you are a Christian, right?
Yes.
What does it mean to be a Christian to you?
To me, I think it means living in righteousness. I think there was a verse. It was sow in righteousness to reap mercy. And it had to do with that you living a righteous life, accepting God as your Lord and Savior, so you can one day reap in that mercy.
And can you live in that with anger on your heart?
Probably not.
Yeah. Smoke on it, man. You're a little smart Zoomer. Can you imagine a world without computers, iPhones?
Oh no, I couldn't imagine I mean, obviously, I know there was a world without computers and iPhones and such, but
Those amazing days.
it was amazing days.
Amazing.
Well, these days with iPhones and computers, I can do the work I do. Without iPhones and computers, I wouldn't be here talking to you because I wouldn't have my show. I probably wouldn't know that you exist or your show exists. And so with iPhones and computers, we're able to not only have a huge access to a wealth of knowledge, but also where I'm able to do the work that I do online.
But the beauty of that is we didn't know about cell phones or iPhone, right? So
True.
we didn't have it during my time of growing up. So we didn't know we were missing anything because we didn't know anything else but that.
Well, true, but wouldn't that also be true of like penicillin or any medical advancement that saves thousands upon thousands of lives?
Right.
And once you get it, it's like, wow, this is great. I'm happy we have this now.
Amazing.
Amazing.
And so you say you participate with the LGBT and all that stuff?
Yes.
I read, and I almost don't want to ask you this, but I think I read that you call yourself a queer.
Yeah.
You call yourself a queer?
Yeah.
What's a queer?
Just somebody who falls under the LGBTQ plus label generally. I don't like to use words like gay or bi or any of that because I've tried to use those labels and I don't really like them because they've been extremely constricting, and so I've thought like, hey, I'm 20, I'm just going to use this label because I do know that I have an attraction to men, and but I also seem to have an attraction to women, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I lie, so it's an easy catch-all term.
And so a queer is having the attraction to both male and female?
Well, it can mean any number of things. I'm telling you who I'm attracted to, but queer could be basically anyone who falls under an LGBTQ plus
What
label.
would you rather that the world know about you? That you are a Christian or you're a queer?
I guess Christian.
So why would you put it out there that you're a queer instead of just being a Christian?
Well, I'm not keeping private either of the information.
Well, what's the purpose of putting it out there that you're queer? What's the purpose of saying that to the public?
Well, because I like to have my dating options open.
I wonder. So you will put your business out in the street because you want to have your dating options open?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I see a guy, if I wanted to date them, or if the guy was also gay or bi or something, they would need to know that I'm queer before they would approach me and want to date me. If they think I'm straight, then they wouldn't know that.
That is interesting. That's mind blowing.
Like if somebody didn't know you were single and they thought you were in a couple or married, then they wouldn't know that you're available.
And that would be fine.
Yeah, well, not if you're trying to find somebody to live your life with.
But you should never try to find someone to live your life with. You should only seek what's right, and then all things will be added.
Well, I think cute boys are right, so.
What?
Well, I think that the cute boys are right, so.
So that is interesting. That is so interesting. But let me ask, is it right, I don't want to use the word right or wrong, which is best, to not be a queer or to be a queer?
What's best? I don't think there's any moral difference. I don't think there's a best or wrong. It's like asking me what's best, blue eyes or green eyes. It's like, well, I don't really think there's any moral difference whatsoever. Or what's
Blue eyes
better.
are best.
Well, thank you. As somebody who has blue eyes, I
You
appreciate
have blue
it.
eyes?
Yeah, I do have blue eyes.
I have blue eyes too. Thank you. Blue eyes are best.
Thank you very much.
Blue eyes are more hated than green eyes.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've never received any hate for having blue eyes.
What do you think?
Well, I've gotten compliments for them, but I've never gotten hate for it.
Amazing. And so, what did I ask? What was the question I asked about?
It was about what's better to be.
Oh, to be a queer or not to be one?
Yeah, I don't think there's any difference.
Which is right?
What is right? I don't think there's anything right or wrong about either option.
Do you think God made queers?
Yes.
God made a queer.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Through His wisdom and power. I mean, He did. I mean, I'm here, so He did.
So how did He make is it a queer, how did He make that though? You know how He made the body and made the human being. How did He make a queer?
Are you asking me to explain God's wisdom to you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I cannot know. God's all powerful.
So how do you know God made you that way then?
How do I know he made me that way? Because I am. It's like asking me how I know God made me with legs. I can see my legs.
Really? And so, as long as you've been knowing yourself, you've been a queer?
There's been signs of it ever since I was young,
And that's why-
even if I denied it. And I'd rather be honest with myself.
And
not
that's
lie.
why you think that God did it?
Yeah.
Amazing. God didn't do that.
Yes, he did.
No.
Yes, he did.
I may not know my flaws,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know God did not make queers.
Really?
Right? God doesn't make mistakes.
Well, it's
He
not a
made-
mistake to be queer, though.
And being a queer is not who you are and what you do as a result of being turned away from your earthly father. So you're really out in the wilderness looking for peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're picking up these different spirits thinking that they're from God. But I totally understand it. But let me ask.
Well, then can I ask you a question, though?
Yes.
Well, if that's true, then why are boys so cute? Because if it's not right for me to feel these ways, then why are they so cute?
Because you have your mother's identity.
Really?
You have the mindset and emotions of a woman. You're not yourself.
How do you know that?
Because when you resent your mother, and in your case, she wasn't even around.
I don't resent my mother.
In your case, she wasn't even around to raise you, and then you resent your father, so you've been turned away from your father's identity, and you have your mother's identity, which is of the feminine nature, and so you think and feel like a female, and because no one has really explained to you that that's not who you are. You've grown up thinking that that's who you are, but that's not who you are. That's what you do.
That's very interesting because it sounded like at first you were saying I resented my mother, and if I would have said yes, then it would have been, well, you resent your mother, so that's why you're queer. But when I said I didn't, then it's, well, you resent your father.
No, you
and
do
since you
resent your
resent your
mother, too.
father, that's why you're queer. So it sounds like no matter what
you
path
do
you would have
res-
taken, it would have been an explanation.
You do resent your mother because she wasn't there for you. So
No,
you
I
can't help
don't.
but
I don't
her.
resent my mother. I understand why she wasn't there.
And you resent your father, but it's because of the resentment. You're born through your mother, so you're born in sin, right? And that's what has brought this idea on about being a queer. But that's not who you
Well,
are.
I think it's mostly just because boys are cute. I don't think it's really that complicated.
And so that's amazing, man.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
And so which are you more proud of, being a queer or a Christian?
What am I more proud of? I've never really measured them against each other.
Which do you promote the most?
What do I
being
promote
a queer
the
or being a
most?
Christian?
I don't really promote it. I don't really promote being queer. I don't know, like, it's not like, hey, join the club. Like, I have, like, membership forms.
Right.
If you want, I could give you one of my membership forms. I can recruit you into the queers.
Which one do you promote?
Well, I
being
guess
a
it would-
Christian or being a
I
queer?
would say being a Christian because anyone could be a Christian, not anyone could be a queer.
What do you mean anyone could be a Christian?
Anyone could come to God, but not anyone could just find men attractive.
Amazing. Interesting, man.
Like, do you find men
I know.
attractive? Do you find men attractive?
No.
You don't find them cute at all?
No.
Not their cute little dimples or anything? None of that?
Even the one with the blue eyes.
Even with the muscles? Even the muscly men? Well, then it looks like you can't be a queer, can you?
Even the one with the muscles.
Even the one with the muscles.
But
See,
you have a
you can't sell me
girlfriend,
on
right?
that. Yes, I do.
Are you able to talk about her for a minute?
I would rather not.
You would rather not mention
rather
her
not talk
color
about her.
or anything?
No, well, I mean, she's black. She's from Haiti, but
So you have a black girlfriend.
yes.
What is a guy with long hair, blue eyes, doing with a black woman from Haiti?
Well, I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. It's a majority black county. I'm very proud of the community, and I've never dated a white person in my life, and it's not because I don't like white people, or if I found someone that was white, maybe I didn't. There's an example when I was in high school. There was one other white person in my class, and that one white person was a woman, and I found out in my graduating semester she was actually my cousin. And so it just showed how few white people there were in my community, so it's not like a preference thing. It's more just, these are the people in my community, and so
was
they're the
mostly
people
black?
yeah, they're mostly black, yeah.
And that's how you ended up with a black woman?
Yeah.
Is she your first black woman?
No, she's not.
Really?
I've
You know
never dated a white person.
You know that once you go black, you can't go back.
I can't?
Mm.
Well then, I guess this is it then.
You're stuck.
Oh, I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Is she older than you or younger?
She's 3 years older.
You got an older black woman.
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes, I do.
And you guys living together and all that?
Yes.
That's amazing. She had kids?
No, she does not.
Amazing. Do you want kids?
I do one day want kids, yes.
So you got a black woman from Haiti. You can find one in America?
Well, she has roots in Haiti. She was originally in America, but then went to Haiti, spent time in Haiti, then Canada, then back to America. It was like all the way around the world, global.
Does she
Global
do
woman.
that voodoo stuff at home?
Does she do voodoo stuff at home? Well, she's put a curse on me. Besides that, no.
She put a curse on you?
Yeah, she's got me hooked.
Do you have, let me ask you this. How do you deal with the hell in her when it comes out?
The hell in her?
Yeah.
What do you mean by the hell in her?
You know how sometimes when they wake up mad about nothing and complaining, you like, what the?
Mad about nothing?
Yeah, you happy?
I would say, if anything, usually that I'm more mad about nothing. There's some problem with maintenance or some other issue. I'm usually the one that gets madder sooner. I remember there was an example of somebody was parking in a parking spot, and I was very, very mad about it. And I was the one who went out and wanted to let's get let's call the tow truck company. And she was the one that was less confrontational. So if anything, I'm the one that's more mad.
You get angry more than your woman?
Probably, yeah.
Really? And so does she call you beta because you're more emotional than she is?
Oh yes. She greets me with hello, beta. She shakes my hand.
What is it like knowing that you're worse than your woman
That I'm worse than her? I feel lucky.
when it comes to anger?
Well, I feel lucky to have somebody calm me down then.
Oh, yeah. Do you have perfect peace?
Do I have perfect peace?
Yes.
I don't know how to answer the question. What's perfect peace?
So do you have it?
Well, I'm asking you what it is.
If you had it, you would know what it is.
Well, then I must not have it then.
You must not have it?
If I don't know what the question is, I must not have it.
Right.
Do you have perfect peace?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah?
I can honestly tell you, it's amazing
Amazing.
to live on earth with perfect peace.
Sounds great.
And that's why Christ came, that we might have peace. Would you consider yourself a progressive or a liberal?
I would say more progressive.
What's the difference between progressive and liberal?
I would say there's a lot of differences people try to distinct, but I would say it just means that progressives are more left-leaning, more left-wing. Yeah.
Are you in favor, do you support that, what's that crazy woman name from New York? AOC.
AOC,
Yeah.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
You support her?
Yeah, I support her.
But she's so crazy, I can't even find words for her.
I need somebody fierce in D.C.
Oh, you think she's fierce?
Yeah.
And decent?
Yeah, I think
How is
she's
she
decent.
decent?
She carries herself respectably.
In what way?
Well, people will say all sorts of nonsensical things about her, but she keeps her senses about her. She keeps on chugging.
Is she an honest person?
Is she an honest person? I think so.
You think so?
Yeah?
Amazing.
Do you know of any time she's lied?
Well, I remember, and I don't have time, and I got so many things to ask you.
Okay.
I remember when they had the little altercation at the Capitol building. Mm-hmm. She was like, I was so afraid of being
You know, I was at that.
I was so afraid of being raped. I was just so scared. I had to get counseling, and I'm just so scared. And come find out she was nowhere around.
Well,
She wasn't even at the building. What do you think about that?
well, I was actually at the January 6th.
But what do you think
protest.
about that?
What do I think about that? I think that she was.
said that it wasn't even true at all.
Well, she was there though.
No,
she
she
wasn't
wasn't.
in that building, but she never said she was in that building. So how was it lie?
So
she was in the Capitol, and there was chaos in the hallway. So she
So
had all reason to be.
She wasn't there that day, and she wasn't.
She
afraid
was
of
there
being
that
raped.
day. She was in D.C.
No,
Yeah. Yes, she was.
no. But let me ask you this:
It's a sin to lie, Jesse.
what?
It's a sin to lie.
She was in the building that day.
I didn't say she was in the building. She was in D.C. She was in a building close by.
So she's in a building down the road, and she's sitting there, and people at the Capitol doing their thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh Lord, don't let them come over to this
The thing
building
is-
and rape me. I'm just."
the thing is,
hold on a
Jesse-
minute. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh Lord, I'm over here in this building.
Mm-hmm.
I hear all the noise out there. They must want to rape me. I'm just so scared. And you believe that?
I do. The thing is, they were
Do you
marching.
believe that?
I do. I said yes.
Oh.
They were marching down the street. They were throughout
And
most
you
of the
think they were
Capitol
looking for
complex.
her?
Well, they were saying hang Mike Pence. They were
Do you
searching
think
Nancy.
they were looking for her to rape her?
I think they were looking for anyone to be violent against,
Do
and
you
she
think
couldn't
they were
know
looking for her to rape her?
to specifically rape her. I have no clue.
But
what
she
I
was so scared.
well, of course, because she didn't know their intentions.
She is not that. amazing that nobody, people would like make this extra strip to rape her.
Well, the thing is about rape, it isn't necessarily about, oh, I find somebody necessarily beautiful.
But
It's
that's
about
not the
power.
point.
Rape is about power.
Whatever y'all want to say that's about, believe me, nobody was looking for a test to rape her that day.
How do you know that?
And it's amazing that you believe that.
How do you know that?
I got common sense.
You got
just
common
can't
sense?
tell me all that crap.
I was there, man. I saw how those people were.
And
They
you
were
saw
looking
them?
to they were looking to put their hands on any Democrat they could find.
Do you believe that most progressives are of sound mind?
Or of sound mind?
Yeah. The ones you
Most?
know, are they of sound mind?
Yes.
And what make them of sound mind? How do you know they are?
Because I work with them on the daily. They're composed, they're organized, they explain their beliefs to me rationally. Yeah.
The same guy that believed that the people walking down the road looking for Ortez to rape her.
I was
I
there.
rest my
I
case.
saw the vibe.
You saw the sign that said, I'm
I was-
looking for Ortez to rape
I
her?
saw them with signs talking about execution. I saw them
Did
threaten
you
me.
see
I saw them
talking
threaten
about
others.
raping Ortez?
Well, I told you I don't know if they were going specifically for rape, but they were definitely looking to hurt people, and rape is one way to hurt somebody.
Do you love white people?
Yes.
You love white people?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You love the Jews, too?
Yes, I do.
Oh, nice. So you would consider yourself an emotional person?
An emotional person. I think all people have emotions, but I don't think I'm overly emotional.
Are you an emotional person?
Probably no.
You're not an emotional person.
No.
Well, earlier you said you get angrier than your girlfriend.
Well, anger,
And she has to calm you down.
that is true.
And so you are an emotional person.
Yes, I am.
Why you saying no just now?
Because I didn't know what you meant by emotional person. I thought you meant like sad or stuff, like happy, sad, stuff like that. I didn't know what you meant.
Amazing. Are you happy, sad?
Am I happy, sad? I can be sad sometimes, but mostly I try to keep myself composed.
So you messed up.
I'm messed up.
So let me ask.
It's because I'm a Democrat.
What?
It's because I'm a Democrat.
Oh, that's why you messed up?
Yeah.
Do you believe in good and evil?
Do I believe in good and evil? Yeah, I do.
You believe there is good and evil.
Yes.
And how do you recognize evil when you see it?
My conscience can tell me.
That would tell you what?
Will tell me if something's evil or if something's good.
Really?
Yeah.
And your conscience will tell you.
Yeah.
And where's your conscience?
It's in my mind.
Your conscience is in your mind?
Yeah.
And so you believe what your mind tell you?
On most occasions, yeah. Yeah, I do. I try to believe my mind.
Did you know that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything?
What was that?
Did you know that all thoughts of the mind are all lies all the time about anything?
So all of my thoughts are lies?
Yes.
Everything I think is a lie?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You've never had a true thought.
So I think right now you're very polite. Does that mean you're impolite?
Yeah.
You're-
I am not a polite person.
You're not polite.
I'm anything but polite.
Wow.
See how your mind lying?
Wow, that's crazy.
But did you know that? Do you create your own thoughts?
Do I create my own thoughts? I mean, through like sensing stuff, of course, yeah.
And how do you do that?
By looking around, taking in information through different sensory organs, yeah.
Being a Christian, do you live by sight or by faith?
I think that you have to live by both things.
So being a Christian, do you live by sight or by faith?
I don't think it's either or.
What do you mean?
I mean, I see that I'm standing on this desk, on this stage. I had to see the steps to walk up here, so that's living by sight and what I can see. But I also try to live by faith and righteousness.
And what does that mean?
What does that mean? Which one? Which
To live by faith and righteousness.
the passage like I talked about in Hosea, to live in righteousness is to live by God's word, to live by his teachings. Yes.
And are you able to live by both sight and faith?
Well, yes.
So you can serve two masters.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a master. Maybe an
No,
apprentice.
you can serve. If you're living by sight, you're serving evil.
I'm serving
And
evil.
if you are living by faith, you're serving God. But you can't serve both.
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to do that?
Well, serve both. I thought you said live by.
Live by. You can't live by but one or the
Well, I don't
other. right?
serve my sight. I live by my sight. I see things. I walk around them. I walk around.
So then you don't live by faith then.
Wow. So if I have vision, anyone that isn't blind is not living by God?
Right. Anyone that is living by sight is not living by faith.
How many fingers am I holding up?
That's not the point.
Well, it's a simple question.
So
though.
you don't know what it means to live by sight.
Well, that's why I asked you what it meant.
Okay, smoke on it. Where do you? So you get your values from where?
I get my values from where?
Uh-huh.
I assume I got many of them from my grandparents as they were taught to me. I've gotten them through learning about like what type of economic systems that I think are best, and also did get them from my faith and stuff like that. Yeah.
What's your grandparents are still around?
Yes,
What do they think of you today?
they're both very proud of me.
They're proud of you. For what reason?
That I'm going to college, that I'm working on my own, living on my own. They're very happy to see that.
Amazing.
I'm the first generation of my family to go to college and hopefully graduate.
What's your impression of the Republican Party?
I have a very negative opinion of the Republican Party.
In what way? What are your opinion of them?
I think that they enable a lot of destruction around the world. I think they stand by as evil is done in the United States, and sometimes supplement that evil. And I think they lie a lot.
Well, I can agree they do stand by and allow the Democrats to create evil around the country. And I'm a Republican, and I am disappointed to see my party standing by and allowing the Democratic Party to destroy America.
Destroy America.
Yeah. Are you a socialist?
No.
You're not a socialist?
No, I consider myself a social democrat.
A social democrat, but not a
Yes.
socialist.
No,
So you don't believe in communism, you don't believe in socialism.
no.
So how do you feel that the Democratic Party at this point, the government, is trying to usher in socialism like 90 going north?
But they're not.
They're
What
not-
has Biden done that is socialism?
So you don't see anything that the Democrats are doing to usher in socialism?
No. What have they done that's socialist?
When they offer people free money to keep them home, is that socialism?
No, it isn't.
What is that?
That's a government handout. I guess that's how you would call it, but it isn't socialism. Socialism is about owning the means of production, and Biden hasn't
What?
done anything. Socialism and communism is about owning the means of production, the workers owning the means of production.
But the reason you want to own the means of
Seduction,
production,
the means of seduction.
Production
I thought you
is
said you weren't gay.
because you want to control the people. And socialism
Mm-hmm.
is about controlling the people.
Really?
Am I wrong about that?
When did Marx talk about that?
Am I wrong about that?
Yes.
And so you don't see the Democrats trying to control the people?
Well, I think both parties try to control the people in a different way through laws and stuff.
How about the Democrats?
Well, yeah, because, for example, I don't want people to drunk drive, so I'd like to tell people you're not allowed to drunk drive.
Amazing. Is it possible for the Democrats to be stopped from what they're trying to do to the country?
No, we're coming.
You coming?
We're coming.
And why are you so certain? Do you think that you guys will complete your mission?
Eventually. I don't know when, but eventually.
And what makes you so sure of that?
Because I see a new generation of young Democrats organizing, preparing, learning from the mistakes of past Democratic presidents who were not able to get what they wanted and who caved and were not able to get the election results they wanted, learning about different types of messaging and how to get to communities that we're losing and communities we've historically lost. I work for a political PAC called 21st Century Democrats, and we're studying specifically how we lost the small to mid-sized industrial communities. And I've been assigned like different jobs of like trying to figure out how we can win those communities back and how to talk about how we can lose these communities that used to be Democratic strongholds, which used to be strong union communities.
Do you agree with me that not all, but most black people have a socialist, communist mindset?
No,
You don't?
no.
And if so, if that's true, why are they still begging and blaming and burning and robbing and stealing and trying to take people's stuff if they don't have a socialist mentality?
Well, I would say most black people aren't rioting or looting or doing anything of that. The majority are working class people who are just trying to get by, and nothing about the government assisting people or Medicaid or Medicare or anything that you would be, I guess, referencing, or public school. None of those things are socialist. None of those things have to do with owning the means of production.
You smoke pot?
Do I smoke pot? I'm under the age of 21. I couldn't disclose even if I wanted to.
Amazing. And so I ask you, if most black people do not have a socialist mentality, why are they blaming and begging and robbing and stealing and killing, and they take no responsibility for themselves? Why is that if it's not a socialist mentality?
Well, they do have to take responsibility for whatever actions like individual black person does. Of course they do. They have to deal with the fact if they don't have a job, they have to deal with that decreased standard of living. If a business is burnt down, it's not the white people in Washington that have to deal with the effects of that. It's that community. If a CVS burns down or something else.
Are you explaining why, if they didn't have a socialist mentality, why would they be doing this if they didn't have that mentality?
The reason why there's rioting is because there's a social issue that's not been addressed.
This
if you look
is
at
insurrection,
if
it's
you
not
look,
a riot.
Well, it's an insurrection.
Yeah.
So do you think January 6th was an insurrection?
I think what the black people are doing is
Well,
insurrection.
but do
why
you think what January 6th was an insurrection then?
Why do you think that they don't have a socialist mentality? All the proof is in the pudding.
Well,
why do you think
well,
that's
nothing,
not an
because
extreme
nothing we've discussed
example
is
of
socialism. Nothing we've discussed is socialism.
Amazing.
All we've talked about is like just social programs. But the reason why there's rioting is because there's an unattended to social issue. If you look at any country in the world, Lebanon right now, rioting on the streets. Why? Because the economy's
You said
failing.
rioting because of
Unattended to social issues.
What do you mean?
Like if there's an issue that the government hasn't solved or
Like
people haven't solved,
What have
then
they
there's
not solved about black people that's causing them to act this way?
that's caught. Well, I would say one thing has to do with a wealth cap would be one thing I would point to.
So the black people burning down the country because they don't have money.
Well, I'm not saying black people are burning down the country, right?
Black people robbing, stealing, and killing because they don't have money.
Really? Is that what they're doing?
Are you saying that?
I mean, I live around a lot of black people. I haven't seen that.
Are you saying that?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are certain people in the black community who are protesting, and a smaller amount, I think maybe 6% of all over the protests, 94% are peaceful, they're protesting, but a smaller amount is rioting because there's an issue that they haven't been dealt with, and that's the
because
economy.
they don't have money?
The economy failing for them, and unattended to social issues coming
What's
from racism.
wrong with them that everybody else, all the other races, are doing just fine? In this
All the other
economy?
races aren't doing fine. Most people
Hold a
people
minute.
have
Hold on.
issues.
All the other races are struggling because of the Democratic Party right now, but they are not robbing and stealing and killing. What's wrong with this race of people that they are doing it when the rest are not doing it? Other races.
White
are
people
not
have
doing it.
robbed and stealed and killed.
That's not the question. What's wrong with the blacks that in rough times that they're the only race that go out and rob?
There's nothing
steal,
wrong
and
with
kill?
them. It's just this is human nature.
But what's
If-
wrong
if
with
you-
their
if you-
nature?
if you
There's
treat-
no other race of people with nature like that. What's
All
wrong
people
with
are
their
like
nature?
this. All people. If you look at any minority group around the world, put in similar conditions, you're going to get a similar response.
Because of time. What's
Look at the
wrong
Kurdish
with
community.
Their
Look at
nature?
Lebanon.
We talk about in America. I don't care about no Kurdish, or Lebanon mama. What's wrong with the blacks in the greatest country in the world? Everybody and their mama trying to come here. That they're the only race that something wrong with their nature that they have to act this way.
There's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with America.
And so, what's wrong with the blacks that they're the only one giving
There's nothing wrong with
what's
them.
wrong with America?
It's not something wrong with them. It's something that's wrong with how they're treated.
What's right about what they're doing?
What's right about what they're doing?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like what do
the
you mean
blacks are
they're doing?
Burning and stealing and breaking in stores and stealing junk, which ain't gonna mean nothing.
The vast majority of
What's
black people are not
wrong
doing
with the
that.
blacks that they're doing that?
Well, the vast majority are not, but for the small amount that are doing that, which is a very small percentage, 94% of these protests are peaceful, but for
What
the
the-
94%, peer
Where
reviewed.
do you live? You
I live in
Lebanon?
Maryland. I live in Maryland.
Let me ask Joe Biden.
Let me tell you, the only riots I saw were on January 6th and the Million MAGA March.
Amazing. Joe Biden, does he has a mental problem or something?
I don't
He
think we
seemed-
have any evidence.
He seemed to be home, but the lights are not on.
Really?
Am I seeing that wrong too?
Yeah, I would say you're seeing that wrong.
So when he's like this,
It's because you're not living by your sight.
tomorrow we're gonna, can y'all hold and pray that a little bigger? Tomorrow we're gonna make everybody take the vaccine. I gotta go now because If I say anything else, they're going to get mad. You don't see that he
I
has.
don't see that.
I don't know what it is because I haven't seen
He
his
has a
medical
history
records.
of stuttering problems.
He what?
He has a history of stuttering problems. We can guess
But
people's
he acts
medical
like he
issues.
has a history of staring too. He can't see.
Well, I'm staring at you right now. Do I have a mental issue?
It-
Except besides being a
Don't ask
Democrat.
me that.
Besides being a Democrat.
you should
Demon
not ask
rat.
me that.
Does Trump
Now,
have mental
I
problems?
have not received his medical record. He
Mm-hmm.
has not said anything out loud that I've heard. But my father, before he expired,
Mm-hmm.
he developed that same stare, and after a while, you have to help him around, and he just got bad because he had what they call Alzheimer's. And Joe Biden remind me of that. I don't know if it's
So
true or
wild
not.
that he has these mental problems while also signing all these executive orders at a much faster speed than Trump did.
That's the
and also
issue.
getting more done than Trump did.
That's the problem.
Well, usually people who aren't mentally deficient are able to,
He's
do
signing
so much
things, I don't
work.
even think he knows what he's signing.
We see him signing it and then talking about what he's signing.
He's like, oh, I just signed this bill. I hope it's right.
I mean, Trump called the president of northeastern Kurdistan Mr. Kurd. I mean,
Do you
he
love
couldn't remember
Trump?
his name. Do I love him? As a human, yes.
You do love
But I don't
Donald
love his
Trump.
policies.
Do you agree with me that he's the great white hope?
I think he's the great white disaster.
How about the great white hope?
No, great white disaster.
Did you know I call him the great white hope?
Yeah, I do know that you call him the great white hope.
What do you think about that?
I think he's the great white disaster.
Amazing.
Got a different name for it. Amazing.
I want to ask you this real fast. Not a long conversation about it because I don't know. I don't trust the Republican Party
Yeah?
or the Democratic Party, and I am a Republican. But it has changed, right? I trust Trump Party, but I don't trust.
You
the
do. You
Republican
trust Trump's party?
Yeah.
Even though he's lied so much.
Republican. I mean, the Democrats want. It's being reported that the Democrats want to go to war with Russia. For what reason?
They don't want to go to war with Russia, and as far as I can tell from Biden, when it comes to Russia, there's this idea that they might invade Ukraine. The odds of that happening,
Who might invade?
Russia, the Russian military.
Why is that our government's business?
Well, first let me say what they're doing. But Biden, as far as I know, has only proposed publicly an economic response. I've seen nothing from him saying we're going to go to war or anything like that. It's nothing much more
They don't
than
wanna
media
go to
fear
war?
mongering. No, he
They
doesn't
pretend
want to
they
go to war.
want to fight for the Ukraine.
He pulled us out of Afghanistan.
What?
Biden pulled us out of
No,
Afghanistan.
y'all still there, buddy.
No, we're out of
They love a
Afghanistan.
lot of American citizens who are still stuck there. They're stranded. And they're now getting killed, and he can kill them.
Really?
He gone on to something else.
Which
Are you
American?
okay-
Which American
are
has been
you-
killed by the Taliban?
They have those who were interpreters for this country.
Well, those
There
aren't
are
okay.
those
Those
who
aren't
were
Americans.
There are those who
That's-
were
you've moved
Americans
the
that
goalposts.
moved over there to live, to work, whatever they did over there. Some of them are left there. Are you okay with that?
Which ones were killed? You
I
said
don't
they were
know
killed.
which one. They're reporting now that the Taliban are starting to kill Americans.
Who's reporting?
Are you okay with that?
Well, no, but it's not happening.
Why do you say it's
No
not
Americans
happening?
have been killed by the Taliban
Why do you say that?
because there's no evidence of
So the
it.
media is lying about that?
Yes, the media lies a lot.
Oh, okay.
Do you think the media is truthful?
No, I don't
Well,
trust
then there it
them.
is.
I trust some conservative media. So do you think that America should go to war with Russia?
No, I do not think we should go to war with Russia.
Okay. So if it looked like it might happen, based on the
Probably not.
information, will you join forces with the Democrats for doing it, or will you denounce them?
Well, they're not going to do it, so I won't have to denounce them.
If they do, will you denounce them? And I don't like doing it
Sure.
either.
I'll denounce them. I'll denounce them if they go to war with Russia, which isn't going to happen.
Amazing. Do you believe racism exists?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I've seen people be racist.
And what have you seen to indicate that it was racist?
Because I've seen people like call black people the N-word, say they're lesser than, that they're scum. I've seen that before. I've even
How's
seen
that
that in my own
racist?
family before.
How is that racist?
How is it racist to say that black people are lesser than white people?
Yeah.
Because you're calling them lesser. That is the definition of
But how is
racism.
that
Racism
racism?
is being discriminatory or bigoted based off of somebody's race.
Do you discriminate? Do you discriminate?
Discriminate.
What do you call it? Discriminate.
Discriminate.
Oh, discriminate. I'm black and slow. I'm one of them. Do you discriminate?
Do I discriminate?
Yeah.
Against some people, but not based off race and sex and stuff.
Oh, you discriminate, but not based off race.
Nah,
What's your discrimination?
stupid people.
So you discriminate against stupid people.
And smaller streamers. I won't let them on my show. I'm a clout shark.
Do you discriminate against stupid black people?
All stupid people.
How about black people?
Well, if they're stupid, then yes.
Do you discriminate against stupid black people?
Well, if they're stupid, it doesn't depend on their race, but yes.
Do you discriminate against stupid black people?
I've already answered the question 3 times, but yeah.
But you put the if in there.
Well, yes, because they have to be stupid. That's
And
the
so are
primary
you
thing.
racist for discriminating against them?
Well, no, because it's based off of something that's not tied to the race.
But when other people call black people, whatever you say they call them, that's based on how they see them. How is that racist?
Because they're throwing that at all black people.
But now they say the blacks are saying that about white people. Is that racist?
If they say that, what do you mean? Like, say what about white people?
That they're stupid, that they're this, and
Yes,
that,
it is.
That they're that because they're white, they're evil, critical race theory, they're evil because
If someone's
they're-
saying that someone's evil because they're
they're
white, yes, they're racist.
white and all that. Are those black people racist for saying that against the white people?
If there's anyone saying that, yeah, of course they'd be racist.
You ever heard of critical race theory?
I've heard of it, yes.
And you have not heard that white people are evil simply because they're white?
I don't think that's exactly what CRT said, but okay.
You ever heard that at all?
I haven't heard that, no.
Are you being honest right now?
I'm being honest.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Oh no, not about this.
I've never read any book that says if you're white, you're evil. I haven't read that book.
And they have
I'm also,
white
I haven't
kids.
studied CRT, so I can't tell you.
They
Really.
have white kids standing up in the classroom, or black kids, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The black kids are attacking the white kids, telling them that they are racist and this. They have white privilege. Do you believe in white privilege?
Do I believe in white privilege? I do, yes.
So you have white privilege?
Yes, I do.
Like what, for example?
I would say marijuana arrest rates and sentencing rates, or the death penalty is a great example of something that would give me privilege. If you are white, you're much, 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 much less likely for the same crime under the same circumstances to be placed on death row.
Amazing.
And if the victim of a crime is white, then you're more likely to be put on death row.
If they didn't commit the crime, would they be in jail at all?
Probably not, unless there's like a corrupt cop of something.
When you hear about black people being in jail and all this other stuff, do you think, wow, if they had not done the crime, they wouldn't have been in jail? Or do you think, oh, this is racist?
Well, it depends on what the crime is.
Which do you think first?
What do I think first?
If they had not been doing the crime, they
Well, I'd
wouldn't
have-
be in jail.
Well, I would like to know what they're in jail for before I make any determination.
Amazing. So listen,
Like
we're
if you heard that somebody was in jail, and then you say, well, they shouldn't have done a crime, and then you find out, well, actually, they were in communist China preaching about Christianity. Well, then that's going to change your complete perspective on it, isn't it?
what do you think about the attack upon Christianity right now?
From where?
From the ones who hate God. They want to erase Christianity, erase men, get rid of the nuclear family. As a Christian, what do you think about those things?
I think that the left wing in this country should be more accepting towards Christianity generally in their messaging and how they talk to certain communities. I think that a lot of people don't take for granted the fact that the black church has for a long time been an organizing center of the left wing and of the Democratic Party. And I think that if we were to change our messaging slightly when it comes to certain communities, that we could do much, much better without abandoning the other communities, like the queer community, for example, that support us. I've seen it happen before, and I can see it happen again. Definitely somebody from Prince George's County. If there was an industry in Prince George's County, it would be the megachurch. And it's dominated by Democrats, because the Democrats there know how to message to the Christian community.
Yeah, they know how to deceive them. I got to heat this up. I got to heat this interview up. I got to put you on the hot seat.
Oh, boy. Wonderful.
And I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
Got it.
The Hot Seat.
True or false, Alex Baldwin is innocent?
I don't know about the case, so I have no clue.
Have you ever done LSD?
No.
Is it okay to be a black nationalist?
No.
How about a white nationalist?
No.
Is there such a thing as white supremacy?
Yes.
What does it look like?
You saw the Patriot March just 3 days ago. That's an example of it in D.C.
And so when the blacks are burning down America, is that black supremacy?
No.
Oh, one is margin is white, is supremacy.
Well, because
the other one margin is black is not supremacy.
Because it's what are they marching for?
Amazing. Who do you prefer more as a news source? Chris Cuomo?
Chris Cuomo.
Cuomo.
Cuomo, right? Cuomo.
Cuomo or Don Lemon?
Don Lemon. I don't like the Cuomos.
And what's the difference?
Well, I think the news has shown clearly the difference between Don Lemon and Cuomo.
In one word, describe AOC. We've already talked about it.
Sensational.
Amazing. True or false? Black Lives Matter was founded by a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians.
False.
True or false?
False.
Amazing. Do you trust Bill Gates?
On what?
Do you trust Bill Gates?
No.
Do you support abortion at any stage?
Yes.
Who has more privilege, black people or gay people?
Gay people.
Are you an alpha male or beta?
Omega.
What?
That's a different type of male. It's a new type. It just was released.
Are you an alpha male or beta male?
Sigma male.
But the question is, are you an alpha male or beta male?
I break the system.
What?
I break the system. I'm neither. I'm a Sigma male.
Oh, what's a sigma male?
It's a new type of male. It's a Zoomer thing. You wouldn't understand.
Amazing. I got to ask you this real fast. You know James Hake?
Yeah.
Of the Hake Report.
Of the Hake Report, yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys did a show together or something.
Yep, he was on the Hippy Dippy Roundtable.
And how was that?
He certainly stands on his values.
Oh, you do? You admire that?
Do I admire anybody that's willing to be honest? And he was very honest.
Were you surprised?
Was I surprised? I had a general idea that he was somebody who was going to be very honest about what he believed.
And what gave you that general idea?
Because he doesn't have a filter.
Nice. That's the way it should be, huh?
I do believe people should be honest, yes.
Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
Thank you, man. Thanks for joining the hot seat. I absolutely appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
And thank you. Tell the folks how to get all the stuff you're doing.
Wonderful. You can find me at Dylan Burns TV on YouTube. That's DYLANBURNS TV. On Twitter, you can find me at Dylan Burns 1776, the year of our nation's founding. That's DYLANBURNS 1776. You can also find me on Twitch. I stream every weekday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to midnight. Happy to be here.
Amazing. And thank you all for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. And we all appreciate your support, your finance, the support we get with our store there and our store and everything. Hear from you, advice and suggestions for the show. You made it become one. And I absolutely appreciate it. And thank you again, man, for coming.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Amazing.
Great.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Are you a Christian?
I consider myself spiritual.
But you do believe in Jesus.
Yeah, he existed. He was awesome.
Your father, did he help you deal with your mother?
He was always working.
He was a beta male?
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
He was afraid of my mom.
You did not obey your husband?
I never even thought about obeying a husband, ever. There's no way. You're not going to make me obey anyone.
Do you believe that racism exists?
It does. Is it a political ploy to manipulate nations? Maybe. If you act in love and peace and joy and forgiveness, you raise the vibration of other people. You're asking very deep questions, and I like it.
Thanks for watching The Fallen State. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Support my nonprofit at rebuildingtheman.com and tell everybody and their mama about the show.